Happy Wednesday, Wenatchee Valley. Happy Wednesday, North Central Washington. Thanks for starting your day with us here at the NCW Live channel. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Wednesday, the 11th day of October. Dan Kuntz in the host chair to my immediate left. News Director Steve here. Good Wednesday to you.
Boy, it gets more cluttered every day out front here, doesn't it?
I like having cool stuff on the desk here, on the set. Every set, every day, something a little bit different. Some things are on a regular basis, specifically, of course, Lou Gehrig's head is right there.
Yeah,
the full Lou Gehrig bobblehead doll, which you see all the time, means the Yankees won the day before. If you just see the Lou Gehrig head, it means either they didn't play or they lost.
What's the meaning of the CD cover today?
Every day I put a new CD cover out there.
Okay, all right.
Just something new.
Who do we have today?
That's the Who.
The Who.
Okay,
yes,
one
who's
of my
that?
favorite groups. Yeah, every day I do a little something different. Sometimes it means absolutely nothing at all. A couple of months ago, I had a salt and pepper shaker out here, and the show was over, and one of the owners of the company calls me up and says, "Why didn't you have a salt and pepper shaker on your desk?" And I said, "I don't know. I just put it out there." But I try to grab something from everybody's desk. A lot of people around here have little trinkets on their desks, and I grab
Dan
something.
marches to his own drum.
I do my own thing. Busy Wednesday for you today. The Wenatchee Wild have a very rare Wednesday evening game at the Town Toyota Center. In fact, I think it might be their only one of the entire year. So anytime the Wenatchee Wild have a home game at the Town Toyota Center, your friend and mine, Arch Ecker, will be in the studio. You can always tell because the puck is on the desk right there.
There you are.
So Arch Ecker will be joining me in the second half of the show. Steve will have your news. We have sports as well with all the prep action from last night on the Les Schwab prep scoreboard. We have Today in History, a very special group of birthdays to pass along to you. Yeah, I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, speaking of sports, what's with the U.S. soccer team, huh?
They didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, first time in a long time.
Yeah, first time since the 80s, I think, or something like that. They will not be going to Russia next year. They lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
Go figure that.
Aren't those two countries with like drink-based economies? I mean, that's the big news in the world today. Even if you don't follow soccer in the sports world, they're all going worst loss ever for the U.S. men's national team. We will not be mentioning that in sports. Let's do your weather forecast. No, let's not do your weather forecast. Let's do the cameras around the valley first, because we're not quite at sunrise, I'm sorry, Steve. Sunrise officially today is at 7:14, so we're still about 10 minutes away from that, but that's still a good-looking morning, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, still getting a little sunshine there, draping over the hills of Birch Mountain area.
How are we doing on the fall colors? Have not had a chance to go into the backcountry or up to any place like that.
Well, just judging from the posts I'm seeing on Facebook, some vibrant colors out there, depending on where you are, but Tumwater Canyon is always one of my favorite places to go.
I live in a neighborhood that has quite a number of big old trees, and most of them haven't really even begun to turn colors yet.
Well, I've noticed in the juvenile center, as you drive up Aranda Street, those trees have turned, and it's on its way.
As the trees turn.
Boy, what a beautiful place we live, huh?
Weekday mornings at 11. Let's go to camera 2.
Oh, gosh, that looks like a picture postcard.
I'm saying Union Valley. And I win! Woohoo! Union Valley, high above beautiful Lake Chelan. So to give you an idea what you're looking at, Chelan proper, the town, is off to your left. You can't quite see it on your screen there. Union Valley, beautiful place there. Of course, all of these high-definition, movable cameras, courtesy of Local Sky-Fi Network. That is...
Wow.
Nope, that's Steins.
Is that Steins Hill?
That's Steins. Do I win, Caitlin? I win. That's Steins.
Looking westbound, upper Wenatchee Valley.
Beautiful. I could live right there. Could you imagine getting up and having a nice cup of coffee and sitting down on your deck and looking at that every morning?
I know a few people that live in that area.
So, and finally, camera 4 is
sunrise.
Real pretty.
Lake Wenatchee.
That is sunrise where? I don't know. Caitlin? Oh, that's number 1 Canyon. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that outline that you see is the East Wenatchee Bench. What you can't see, all that black, is the Wenatchee Valley. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, there are your cameras from around. Oh, that's gorgeous. See, look at that. Look at you, Steve, but with that background there.
What a profile.
Yeah, what a profile. What a good-looking guy. Forecast time.
Silhouetted against the morning sky.
From the National Weather Service. Let's do your weather forecast. Let's jump all the way ahead to Monday. I want you to look at Monday. I want you to take Monday off, because sunshine is 67 on Monday of next week is probably going to be the last time we'll see that until April.
Okay, I will take Monday off then.
Take Monday off, Steve. Everybody take Monday off. You see there a little bit of raindrops. We're not talking significant rain. We're talking sprinkle dinkles.
Sprinkle dinkles?
Sprinkle dinkles.
That's a new one.
I checked with the FCC. I can say that. Thursday morning about 11 o'clock, Steve. Tomorrow morning about 11 in the morning. Pretty much all day Thursday into Thursday night, spilling over a little bit of Friday. Light rain here and there. Not a bunch of rain. A little bit of snow.
Yeah,
and the
there's a little
Cascades.
dusting over the top of Stevens, possibly.
The elevations that are really going to get the most amount of snow is going to be in the Idaho Panhandle,
Ah.
where Idaho and Montana get together. They're talking 3 or 4 inches of snow at pass level there.
Well, Montana's been getting dumped on here, the Missoula area, according to Grant Olson, our meteorologist.
This is the time of year where they can get 10 inches of snow, and then the next day it's 60.
Yeah.
And that's what we deal when we're dealing with October. And again, we look at those temperature variations. They're all over the board, aren't they? So isolated showers today, partly sunny, high 58. The problem, not a problem, it's just what it is. We have a weak low pressure that is kind of sliding through our area. Again, the weekend looks perfect. This is not a bad forecast. It's going to be cool and unsettled Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we begin to turn the page. It's going to be very chilly Friday night. Look at that overnight low, 37 in the valley. Plain, Lake Wenatchee, they're going to be down to the 20s for the overnight low on Friday night.
Weather kind of like Tom Brady football, huh? Deflated.
Deflated. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, warm, sunshine, another ridge of high pressure builds up. A perfect weekend to get out and do something. 6.5 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 1 minute break. When we come back, the gentleman to my immediate left will fill your brain full of everything you need to know on this Wednesday. The news with Steve Hare, 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Some things are better slow. Internet is not one of them. With local Tel Fiber Internet, slow internet is history. Play movies and videos instantly in HD quality. Video chat without interruption. Download music or photos in seconds. And dominate in gaming with virtually no lag time, no matter how many devices are online. Experience gigabit internet. Call or visit LocalTel online to learn more.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And we're back on the Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Steve Hare with your NCW Live News for this Wednesday morning. First of all, our top story, this was the scene yesterday afternoon as DOT crews employing a new emergency response vehicle cleared the wreckage of a two-vehicle crash that occurred on Highway 97A near Rocky Reach Dam. Here you see that truck shoving the wreckage off the roadway there. They got it cleared off. Washington State Patrol reports the minor injury accident involved a small four-door sedan and a large one-ton pickup. Both vehicles were severely damaged in the crash, and traffic was slowed for a couple of hours until that roadway was cleared. No word yet, though, from the Washington State Patrol regarding the extent of injuries and the cause of that accident, but apparently minor relative injuries. Meanwhile, the U.S. Forest Service conducting its prescribed burning schedule this fall. They had 5 such burns around the north central Washington area yesterday, bringing a light shroud of smoke and haze to some areas, mostly to the north. The fires were in the Tonasket, Mazama, Cle Elum, Winthrop, and Omak areas on a total of 308 acres. With light southwest winds today, most of the smoke was dispersed to the north of most populated areas with little impacts for air quality. Prescribed burning conducted during the spring and fall to improve forest health and reduce the intensity of future wildfires. Also, Lake Chelan holds a world-class feature that has only been studied once, nearly 30 years ago. With the help of Oregon State University and Chelan County Natural Resources, the Lake Chelan Research Institute announced that scientists will be learning more about the movement of the deep, cold water known as the internal seiche of the lake, with installation of 2.4 miles of temperature sensing cables. Interesting, the fiber optic cables will measure temperature at every meter along their length under the surface, taking a crucial look at the lake's water quality measurements and optimal sampling times. In fact, the Research Institute says studying the internal seiche will also help find the best days for swimming in Lake Chelan. Researchers marked the locations of the cables with surface buoys They're asking the public to avoid those areas while playing on the lake, at least for the next year. In other news today, we continue our series of reports on candidates running for the Wenatchee School Board, with profiles today of incumbent Position 3 board member Claudia DeRobles and her challenger Sonny Hemphill. Claudia DeRobles is running for election for the first time after being appointed to fill an unexpired term. She's employed as a branch manager for Cashmere Valley Bank. She said during a recent forum that she has also served in a variety of service and civic organizations. She says her banking experience gives her an edge when dealing with school district budget issues.
I can truly say this is a very rewarding position. Having to be in a position to help and be able to put in my experience and give input, and you know, the role of a board member is to be prepared at these meetings, do your homework ahead of time, and make sure, because as we're nervous up here presenting to you, that's the same situation as when there's someone presenting to us. We will give respect to each person that presents to us and be able to make decisions and do our homework ahead of time. We have fiduciary responsibility as a board member to make sure that that budget is complete and balanced. And if it wasn't for the reserves we have, it's very tough to get it balanced. Why do I want to do this? Because I care. As a mother, community member, as a businesswoman, as a volunteer. I'm willing to give my time. This is a volunteer position. It's not paid, and I'm willing to do that.
Meanwhile, DeRobles' challenger, Sonny Hemphill's campaign is focused on what she perceives as a disconnect between the district and the community. She says she wants to add more transparency. Hemphill says she has acquired her knowledge of school issues as a longtime newspaper reporter.
I'm running for school board because I love my community. We moved here in 1999. My two boys began school here. They were in middle school and went all the way through high school here. During those years, I found myself a frustrated parent on a fairly regular basis. Sometimes it felt like I was having to struggle to get the things my children needed to thrive in school. They made it through school, and I was happy to have that period of my life pass, to tell you the truth. But I continued to hear others, friends in the community, people I knew, talk about their struggles with the education of their children in the schools. I heard stories where parents literally had to become warriors to get the services their children needed. And simply that little nagging fact that our schools were not living up to what I felt like the promise was.
And that's Sonny Hemphill. Rounding out the field of candidates at last week's forum at John Newberry School was Michelle Sandberg, who was running unopposed for that position. Also, the hallways at Wenatchee High School rumbled with the sounds of the Golden Apple Marching Band yesterday as it escorted members of the school's Mariachi Wenatchee group on the first leg of its journey to Washington, D.C. A lot of fun. The Mariachi Wenatchee director, Ramon Rivera, also thanked the community for its help in raising the necessary money to pay for that trip.
We are so excited because we're getting ready for a 4-day trip. We're going to be, the minute we're taking a red-eye flight to Washington, D.C., and tomorrow morning we're going to be at the White House. So we're excited to represent the Wenatchee Valley and play for the United States Congress.
So they're in D.C. now. They took off yesterday from SeaTac, and hey, looking forward to seeing the results. But, great group of people, and a big thank you to the community for helping pay for that trip to Washington, D.C.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, one of the great success stories for the Wenatchee Valley. 14 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition. We are live, by the way, from Studio 7 here in downtown Wenatchee. Don't forget the news with Grant Olson at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. Some of the stories we're working on. Steve, do you have anything off the top of your head you want to talk
As a
about?
matter of fact, now I'm going to be attending the Rivercom board meeting today. Of course, Rivercom is the emergency dispatch center here in the Wenatchee Valley, covering most of Chelan and a lot of Douglas County as well. So again, we're going to do a little story on fire-wise planning and the state of protecting our homes from wildfires. Maybe get some perspective from some of the fire chiefs who are on that board of directors for Rivercom. So we'll have that coming up a little bit later on. Also, the play that's coming up this weekend starts
12 Angry
actually
Men.
tomorrow night, 12 Angry Men. I know you did an interview recently with some of the people on that.
Mike McNaughty had him on
performance.
his show as well.
That's right.
That opens tomorrow at the Riverside Playhouse.
And tickets are going pretty fast, if not already sold out for the first night's performance. But again, we'll have more details on 12 Angry Men. And I can remember that movie with...
Oh, it was a great movie. Henry Fonda and Ed
yeah.
Begley and
Good movie.
Lee J.
a
Cobb
classic movie.
was in it. Great movie. Great movie. Jack Klugman, I believe, was in that
I
movie.
think he was in there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great movie, 12 Angry Men. Henry Fonda produced it because none of the studios would touch it, so
Didn't know that.
he wrote the check himself to
Oh,
make
no
the
kidding.
movie. So the news with Grant at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. One more quick item about that Rivercom meeting that Steve's going to attend. They're also going to probably, in all intents and purposes, pass their 2018 budget. And this is the time of the year where governments do their budgets.
That's right.
This is when they sit down with spreadsheets and all that stuff and figure out what they can and can't do for the fiscal
The
year
department heads
2018.
come in with their crying towels, of course. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you know
Everybody
how that
says,
works.
please. So it's budget time for all the area governments. This time of year where they put it all together. So the news with Grant Olson, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight here on the NCW Live channel. 16 minutes after the hour from Studio 6 in downtown Wenatchee. 1 minute break. Sports, birthdays, today in history, the obscure holiday, and Arch Ecker, the voice of the Wenatchee Wild in the second half of this program. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to check out our newest show on the NCW Life channel. We call it the 12th District. Each week, we'll be taking an in-depth look at various political issues that affect our area, our state, and the world. We'll be featuring local and statewide experts on the subject matter at hand. Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
Just about 18 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Let's take a look at sports for this Wednesday. First of all, we'll kick off with the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from last night. To the pitch we go in soccer. Davis got the better of the Eastmont Wildcats 4-1. The Wildcats dropping their second straight Big Nine contest. Vanessa Valdez scored the sole goal for Eastmont. Wenatchee crushing Eisenhower 12-0 down in Yakima. Jaden Griggs had 3 goals, 3 assists. Allie Flynn had a couple of goals. The Panthers have won 9 in a row. They lost their opening game of the year and then ripped off the last 9 straight. Cascade, no problems with Okanagan, 9-0. Ashley Parton leading the way for the Kodiaks. And you see Cascade, you see the Kashmir Omak score. That was a forfeit. That's the official soccer score when one team has to forfeit. Omak did not have enough healthy players to field a team, so Kashmir wins over Omak by default. Indoors we go. The Les Schwab Prep scoreboard in volleyball. Wenatchee takes care of Eisenhower, 3-1. Eastmont shuts out Davis, so they're back on the winning track. Kashmir dispatches Omak. Aniette shuts out, a lot of shutouts last night, wasn't there? Aniette shutting out Moses Lake Christian, Tenasket over Mansfield. In fact, of all the local schools, the only team that dropped a set was Wenatchee. A lot of goose eggs up there in the wonderful world of volleyball. The Wenatchee Wild host the Vernon Vipers. BCHL hockey tonight at the Town Toyota Center. The Wild come into tonight's contest. They are 5-3-1. They are currently in 5th place in the Interior Division. They got 11 points. Vernon, they're 7-2-2. They have 15 points. They're 2nd in the division. Wenatchee is coming off an overtime win to conclude a rough road trip in BC last weekend. They hope to improve on their current 1-1 record on the home ice. Puck drops tonight at 6:35 at the Wolves' Den. Arch Eckert, of course, will join me a little bit later on in this program to preview tonight's game against Vernon, and he has highlights from the weekend series up in Canada. So we have a lot to talk about with Arch in the second half of the show. They didn't play baseball yesterday. They were rained out, and they're still rain in the forecast at Wrigley Field today, but it looks like they're going to be able to get it in. Cubs and the Nationals hoping to get in Game 4 of the National League Division Series. Again, they were rained out yesterday. 3 o'clock Central first pitch is when they're supposed to get going. Chicago, of course, if they win, they wrap up the series and move on to take on the Dodgers. A Washington win would force Game 5. back in the nation's capital tomorrow. Today's game, by the way, on TBS, cloudy, temperatures in the low 60s for the Yankees and the Indians. Game 5, the winner of that will move on to take on the Houston Astros in the American League Championship Series. I will be glued to my TV tonight, October baseball, and that's sports. At 20 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day for this October 11th. Today is National Pet Obesity Awareness Day. Pets aren't your whole life, but they do make your life whole. I've heard that somewhere before. Yeah, Americans are fat. Pets are really fat. We're not doing a very good job. It's not only a human problem, obesity, but we're not doing our pets any good at all when we give them little treats and more treats and we overfeed them. And it's raising awareness about the fact that the vast majority of our household pets, being cats and dogs, are not in the best of shape. Take the dog for a walk. Play with the dog. Play with the cat. Make them do something to burn off all those calories, because if they're going to overeat, they might as well work it off. That's what we're supposed to do. National Pet Obesity Awareness Day. If you have a dog or a cat who's overweight, you know who you are. 21 minutes after the hour. Today in history. It was on this date in October 11th, 1910, that former President Theodore Roosevelt, as you see there, became the first U.S. president to fly in an airplane. He flew for 4 minutes. The pilot was Arch Hoxsey. There's another Arch to talk about. The Wright brothers, of course, built the plane. This happened in St. Louis on October 11th, 1910. Former President Theodore Roosevelt became the first president to fly in an airplane. The cost to taxpayers, $242,000. It was on this day in 1975. A brand new show debuted on the NBC television network. It was called Saturday Night, NBC's Saturday Night. The very first host on Saturday Night Live, George Carlin, who never performed ever again on Saturday Night Live. The story of how Saturday Night Live launched is fairly well known. NBC affiliates back in those days on Saturday nights at 11:30 ran reruns of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Well, when Johnny signed his new contract with NBC in 1975, he said, "You don't get to do that anymore." No. You figure out what to do on Saturday nights at 11:30. So they had a hole to fill, and NBC went to Lorne Michaels and said, "Create a live sketch comedy show. We'll air it at 11:30s on Saturday nights, and we'll see what will happen." It's now, of course, an American institution. Saturday Night Live debuted October 11th, 1975. And on October 11th, 2001, they were unable to anticipate the impact of digital cameras. The poor Polaroid company, they filed for bankruptcy protection. Polaroid, the makers of that iconic camera from the 1970s. Polaroid filed for bankruptcy. The top 45 Polaroid executives got bonuses. The employees and the stockholders got nothing. But there's a lesson to be learned here, because the company that reorganized Polaroid, called Petters Group Worldwide, itself filed for bankruptcy in 2008. The inability to see into the future cost Polaroid themselves 16 years ago. I though missed the Instamatic camera is apparently supposed to be making a comeback. Is that what I'm told? I've heard about that. Don't know. I've just heard about it. Finally, birthdays at 23 minutes after the hour. My producer Caitlin yesterday, we were just talking before the show. She goes, "How come when you do birthdays and you do women's birthdays, it's always some bimbo who you had a crush on when you were a kid?" And I thought to myself, she's right. So Caitlin, for these October 11th birthdays, how about women of accomplishment and women of stature and of importance? We'll start out with Eleanor Roosevelt, who's about as big as it gets. The humanitarian, politician, without question the most influential first lady in American history. She set the bar that no other first lady has ever been able to come to meet. When she passed away, Harry Truman called her the first lady of the world. Eleanor Roosevelt, one of the most accomplished females in this country's history, born in the state in 1884. Senator Patty Murray is 67 years old today. She's currently serving her 5th term in the Senate. She, of course, is the senior senator from the state of Washington, the 9th most senior member in the Senate, period, and the 3rd most senior Democrat. Patty Murray, Senator Patty Murray, 67 years old today. More accomplished women. Rachel Barton Pine, the finest violinist in America right now, is 43 years old today. She debuted with the Chicago Symphony when she was 10. That's how good she was. The youngest ever gold medal winner of the International Johann Sebastian Bach competition. A incredible violin player. And she loves heavy metal music too. She's played with Metallica. Rachel Barton Pine is 43 years old today. And finally, she's 28 years old today. At the age of 10, became the youngest woman ever to qualify for a USGA tournament. Michelle Wie, the great golfer, is 28 years old today. She's also the youngest winner of the U.S. Public Amateur Links Championship and the youngest ever to qualify for an LPGA Tour event. Michelle Wie is 28 years old today. If you know somebody celebrating a birthday, get them to me. Any number of ways to do it. You can go to our website, ncwlife.com. You'll see the icon for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. You'll notice when you see the picture of me that I had a haircut when we took the picture. I don't have one now. Click on the icon for this program. The birthday club submission form pops up. If you fill it out, you attach the photo, we'll get it on the air. Or go to our Facebook page and just private message us. We'll get it. Don't forget the photo, though. We need that. We'll get you a local celebrity's birthday on the air here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Everyone is entitled to Mike Benatti's opinion. Love thy neighbor is Mike's topic today. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Art Jecker, the second half of the show. Special thanks to our sponsors, Weinstein Beverage. We've been talking about this for about a month now. Pepsi Zero, meaning no sugar, none. I look at the ingredients on the back, doesn't say sugar because there's no sugar, none. It's the Pepsi taste, because real Pepsi, regular good old-fashioned Pepsi, has sugar in it. This tastes like Pepsi, no sugar, almost no sodium too, for that matter. Pepsi Zero, available all over North Central Washington, courtesy of the distributors at Weinstein Beverage. And thanks to our friends at Highgate Senior Living. You're tired of grocery shopping? You don't want to grocery shop anymore? You don't want to do your own laundry? You don't want to do your own cooking? Highgate's for you. If you want to do your own cooking, that's fine. Every apartment has a kitchenette. You can make your own meal. Have at it. But you're much better off heading down the hallway and popping into the commissary and enjoying the culinary delights of the incredible kitchen at Highgate Senior Living. Everybody wants to live independently for as long as they can. Highgate is the answer. Highgate Senior Living, each day to the fullest. 27 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Benatti's opinion. Look at that sunrise. Let's just look at that for the rest of the show. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, this is Melissa Knott, and I'd like to welcome you to Highgate Senior Living, where our residents become friends and our friends become family. Come enjoy a quiet moment in our beautiful courtyard or join your friends for great conversation. Improve your balance with one of our many gentle exercise classes and enjoy home-cooked meals with friends in our beautiful dining room. Highgate Senior Living, each day to the fullest.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's blueberry picking season and King 5 named us the second best destination restaurant in Washington State. So toss the family in the cruiser and get on out to Blueberry Hills for the best down-home scratch country cooking you've had in years. And don't forget our award-winning pies. We're fun, family-friendly, and a delicious destination year-round. We're open every day from 8 to 3, serving breakfast and lunch all day. So come on out to Blueberry Hills.
Is this really what we're gonna do on our girls' night out?
We should go to Club Crow. The bar and grill in Cashmere?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Quality, comfort, style, service. This is the Crown Furniture difference for more than 50 years. Their commitment to you is to provide the best furniture and mattresses the industry has to offer at a great price. Shop Crown Furniture today to experience the difference. And remember, free setup, delivery, and haul away in their service area is just another way they show they care.
Crown Furniture, where prices really are lower.
Hi, I'm Lonnie Boucher, attorney and owner of EstateEdge.com. If you found yourself incapacitated, do you have a durable power of attorney for financial and healthcare needs? A durable power of attorney allows you to nominate a person an agent to act for you and make decisions if you are unable to do so yourself. EstateEdge.com is your online resource to obtain these and other estate planning documents. For your protection and peace of mind, go to EstateEdge.com today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, 75% of us Americans, we consider ourselves Christian. Now, okay, now that's great, but our tendency as Americans, particularly those on the political right, they got the tendency to mix their Christianity with their patriotism, and I'll tell you, that's a big mistake. Now, love of country is fine, but if your patriotism causes you to somehow justify something other than love your neighbor as yourself, as concurrent with your faith, now you've crossed the line. Because, of course, when Jesus identified your neighbor, he was telling you to consider whoever it is you deem most objectionable in our society. Now, God is not going to protect or bless America at the expense of any other nation. And there's no reason to believe that America really has any special place in God's heart over and above others. I mean, I love being an American too, but that doesn't trump my faith. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hi, my name's Emmy. And I'm Ashley. And we'd like to invite you to this year's Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair. It will be held on October 21st at the Wenatchee Convention Center, and guess what? It's free!
Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair allows people to show, sell, and demonstrate what they've made to the community.
This year there will be a variety of booths, everything from art to robotics, along with hands-on demonstrations and performances throughout the show. So bring your friends, bring your family, and come on down.
Hi, I'm Eric Grandstrom, host of Let's Learn here on the NCW Life channel, a program where we learn about different topics. And on this particular series, it's death and die. It's a conversation that no one wants to have, but we're going to have it right here on the NCW Life channel. So you're dead. Now what? We're going to learn all about the choices you have and the decisions you need to make. It's Let's Learn on the NCW Life channel.
Welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson.
Of the NCW Life Legislative Hotline, I'm Steve Hare.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
And now, your weather forecast for north central Washington.
We're here at the downtown fire station right now.
Dry and warm weather pattern for Friday.
Considering that we're supposed to be 103 degrees today, how do you keep these guys cool?
And this just in, traffic is slowed in the Orondo area as firefighters attack a brush fire.
Right here on NCW Life News.
It's a spectacular good time all month long in Cashmere. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yes, it's Scare Crazy in Cashmere. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Cashmere. And be sure to stop by these fine sponsors. The Antique Mall at Cashmere. Come find your treasure. And Club Crow Bar and Grill, home of the blues, brews, and barbecue.
33 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday, October 11th, I am Dan Coons. The quandary we have here is Art Checker, as usual, is in the studio to talk about Wenatchee Wild hockey and preview tonight's game. We can show Arch, or we can show this incredible sunrise. Arch, will let you decide.
I think you ought to stick with the sunrise if you know what's good for you.
Look at you. Quick heads up, you are still alive. You're not in heaven.
Right.
But look at...
Correct.
I've never seen you look that radiant, Arch.
Well, you just don't remember seeing you look that radiant.
Caitlin, we're going to have to do another camera behind Arch, or we're just going to just look at that for the next 45 minutes. But we got things to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing A-okay.
It's good to see you. A quick heads up before we get any further into the conversation. I'm on your website right now. I'm on your Twitter feed for Wednesday Night Hockey. Tickets start at just $5, so you need to talk to your system administrator and get that fixed. That's obviously a mistake.
Oh, it's not a mistake, Dan Coons. Oh, no, be that as it may. No, there's actually walk-up tickets available for $5.
That's pretty
while
good
they last. Now, they're just for certain sections, but if they're still available, then we'd be more than happy to put you in one of those $5 seats.
I thought maybe there was a problem there. So.
Nope.
We're going to get straight to the highlights from last weekend. Pretty tough road trip, Friday and Saturday. They rebounded on Sunday.
Yeah, it was, well, it's a long trip just sheer miles. And then when you started off taking a couple of tough injuries right in the first 10 minutes of the first game, it can put you behind the 8 ball a little bit. But the guys got a lot of heart, and they dug in, and they ended up coming up short. We're going to look at the highlights from Friday night, but you'll see as we battled back a couple of times to make a game of it. So let's take a look at those highlights from Chilliwack.
Back up high for Zach. Zach wades all the way over the top of the near circle. Still looking for a lane. Shoots. He scores! Cooper Zach moved all the way over to the near side, top of the circle, and then started to drift back. And that's what you do. You're trying to create space. You get the defense moving, and you find a lane. And Zach, the left-handed shooter coming off the left side, just sort of shot back. His movement was carrying him to the right. And then he just stepped back over and just fired it through. And the Wild are on the board. And on it was Park. Then guided over for Sasaki, and he'll take off through center with a pass for Weatherby left side. Weatherby in, shoots, and he scores! Oh, what a rip from the left circle. Jasper Weatherby unloads from the left circle, a power play tally, and the Wild have tied it at 2. Boy, a good, crisp, hard shot from Jasper Weatherby. It all started out with Sasaki flushed out from behind his net with the pressure. Sharp tape-to-tape pass, and then using Connor as a screen. Jasper Weatherby, the big lefty, pulls the trigger. Fires it home. We're even up at 2 apiece. Back behind the net. Leaves it for Stratton. Back to Bjork again. Up to the top of the circle. Zek looks for lane. He shoots, save made, rebound. Shot again, and that one blocked over to the far corner, handled by Connor. Can't do anything with it. He's tangled up with Hessler. Stratton back over to Hessler, and then dished back to the point for Zek. Zek shot through traffic, save made, score! The shot from the left point hit Karan, rolled up and fell in behind him, and rolled ever so slowly across the line. The referee signaled goal. Stratton was there, and he ended up in a shoving match after the puck crossed the line. The goal's going to stand, I would imagine, at the 8:40 mark, and the Wild have tied it at 3. Here's Weatherby. He's in. He scores! Jasper Weatherby from the top of the circles ties it right back up at 4. A blistering shot on the glove side. 13:29 time of the goal. His second goal of the night and 7th of the year. Steals it away, blasts it home. And we're even at 4s here in Chilliwack.
So there you go. That was a week ago Friday up in Chilliwack. Mr. Weatherby obviously had a heck of a game. He played well.
Yeah, he did. He's really emerged as one of the strong leaders on this team, and we've talked about him having the ability to throw the team on his back. And that was a situation where we'd fallen down. We were behind 2-0, and between he and Cooper Zek, they just plowed the team right back into it. And we ended up losing the game on a last-second goal, but nonetheless, we've got a lot of leadership on this club. So the next day we got to get up at 6 in the morning. Take a ferry ride we take the bus from Chilliwack over to the ferry port, ferry across to Vancouver Island, go north up the island, then get on another ferry and head over to Powell River. So even under good circumstances, it's a tiring deal. But we got up there, and the guys represented well and came up short, but nonetheless, we'll take a look at a couple of the goals from Powell River on Saturday.
Controlled by Powell River, back behind their own net. They work up the near side, can't clear. Elton by the Wild. Shot from a tough angle, wristed over. Back to the left side. Thrown by Zach, and then he scores! Arnold may have gotten a tip on it. The puck came back to the left point. Zach was able to hold it in, and he flung it into net. And Hessler comes over to collect the puck for Josh Arnold. And the Wild on the board, they trail 2-1. Valley board here in the right corner. Wozniak looking for a feed. DeFazio tries to hold the right point. He does for a moment. Coming back out to center though, and down DeFazio beats Chalatic. Chalatic back back across, shot. Oh, and a stop made. Blues puck score! And the Wild have tied it up. Adamic made the initial stop. He wasn't sure where the rebound was, but it was sitting right by his right leg pad. And Daniel Chalatic able to jam it home. And he'll get his first goal. Jacob Modry heads over and collects that puck. A piece of Chalatic history will be stored away. The Wild with 2 quick goals here in the second period. And we're even up at 2 apiece.
So that was Saturday against Powell River. Again, we lost Friday, we lost Saturday, but we were in both games. It wasn't like we were blown out 11-3 or something like that. We were right in it to the end.
Yeah, those 2 goals we just saw, that tied the game at 2, and then, Powell River did end up pulling away at the end.
How much did fatigue play a factor in that third period on Saturday night against Powell River? Because you mentioned the long trip, 2 ferry rides, lots of bus time.
Well, this isn't a team that ever hangs its hat on excuses. We had an opportunity to win the game. And, and it ended up, Powell River's a good team. Make no mistake, they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league. Mm-hmm. And so, there's no shame in it. I think the guys represented themselves well. And, they just came up short on that particular night. And you know what? Guess what? It's sports. It's going to happen. Even your beloved Yankees lose once in a while, don't they?
The sun don't shine on the same dog's rear end every day.
Not every day.
Sunday, another road trip.
Another road trip. Now we're waking up again 6 in the morning on a Sunday. And we've got a ferry ride back down the island, and we're heading into the town of Duncan to play the Cowichan Valley Capitals, which, it's a team that we had played a week prior and kind of had our way with here in our building. So, they're fired up, want to play and represent well at home. So our team, bedraggled and whatnot, and bus weary, came rolling into Cowichan Valley, and they represented well once again. This time we ended up with the game winner, so we'll take a look at that one.
Cleared by Cowichan Valley. Pochopinski chases after it, but Slava Demon is there. And grabbed by Weatherby and then fluttered ahead on the right side. Here's Lippis. He turns on the gas right side. He's in. He shoots and he scores! Boy, Jack Lippis with a burst of speed on the right wing. Got the pass from Weatherby coming out of his own zone. Flies up the right wing and from the top of the circle just blasts a heavy wrister home, ties the game at 1. Then Lippis feeds it down low. They play catch on the perimeter. Up high for Demon. Weatherby sets up shop in front. Pass down low is for Stratton. He shoots. He scores! Oh, nice shot from a really difficult angle. And Murphy Stratton at 14:44 rips the power play up high over the shoulder of Derry, and the second power play goal of the game for the Wild, and they close the gap to 1. It's now 3-2, Cowichan Valley. And Chen backhands it around. Left point, Slava Demon is there. Sends it down low, and Morton plays it back behind the net. Morton snaps it up high, Zek to Demon. Demon shot, save made, rebound, shoots, he scores! Sam Morton got the rebound. The shot came in from the left point, and Derry made the shoulder save. The rebound just fell right out in front of him. It was collected by Sam Morton, who stepped to his left and just slid it right underneath the blocker hand inside the post. And with 5:10 to go in the third period, the Wild have tied it at 3. Travels over to Weatherby at the right point. Weatherby works his way down to the corner. It's tied up there. And Scardina able to jam it out to center. Pass back across for Weatherby. He's got Stratton with him. Weatherby shoots. He scores! Jasper Weatherby with the game winner in overtime. He had Murphy Stratton getting his first shift back after the injury on the right side, and Weatherby rips it off the glove of Derry and into the back of the net. The Wild pick up the win. They win it 4-3 in sudden death overtime. Jasper Weatherby with his 8th goal of the year. And the final score, Wild win it 4-3.
That was cool. Again, the name Weatherby jumps right out at you, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't miss that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of those kids. As a first-year player last year, there was so much going on ahead of him that he kind of got, to the average fan, he may have bounced down the recognition list a little bit, but there's no way that you can watch a game and not notice number 14 on the ice this year.
Speaking of leaders and great players, how's AJ doing, Captain AJ?
Captain AJ, he's working on it.
Okay. You want to fill people in on what exactly we're talking about? Because he got a little hurt, he got a little banged up.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, he's a guy that scored 39 goals for us last year, so, we're missing him on the ice, certainly, his firepower. He travels with us, he's in the locker room, he's a part of everything we do. We're just missing his touch on the ice, but, he's been skating, so it's just a matter of when he's ready for contact and ready to get back on the ice, and it may be maybe a couple more weeks yet, and I don't really know, to be honest. It's one of those things that the doctors and staff, medical staff, will evaluate and continue, obviously, to keep a very close eye on. But, there's never any need to rush any of that at this point, because realistically, with A.J. Vanderbeck, as with many of the kids, this is a guy that's got a very bright future ahead of him. And squeezing an extra week or two out of him at this level isn't worth it.
No, it's not.
He needs to be.
Why jeopardize what could be a pretty good hockey career by rushing things and doing something
we're going to make sure that when he is ready to go, he'll be 100%, and then he can return to competition. So there's certainly never any reason to rush that.
One last question before we take a quick break. Again, Art Checker, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild at home on this Wednesday. One more question for you.
6:30 tonight.
6:30. The routine on these road trips, because you were on the road, long bus trip, played Friday, long bus trip, played Saturday, long bus trip, played Sunday. When you get to the arena, for those people who don't know, because they don't get to see it behind the scenes of the Wenatchee Wild, give us an idea of what happens from the time the Wenatchee Wild arrive at the arena to the time they drop the puck on road games.
Well, what they'll do, the first thing you got to do is typically, most times when we're playing in that building for that night only. That's true for most of the teams. Now, the in-division games, there will be a couple of times during the year where, for example, we might play in Trail on Friday and then play there again on Saturday. But for the most part, as you just saw, 3 different nights, 3 different towns. So we come pulling into a facility, and the first thing we got to do is unload everything. So we get there, like you said, 2 hours and 10 minutes or so, maybe.
And the players are their own roadies, right?
Sometimes,
yeah.
I mean, like we pulled up in Cowichan Valley, it was an hour and a half before face-off. So we were behind just because there was traffic and whatnot, and we kind of got, in a bad spot. But at any rate, under ideal circumstances, so the first thing you do is you unload the trailer. We've got skate sharpeners, obviously, everybody's personal equipment, and then there's the team equipment, your tape and all those things. We move in, set up. The guys gear down from their suits into their workout clothes, and they'll go through a stretch or maybe a light jog or run or whatnot, and they've got some routines that they go through just to kind of start limbering up and get ready, and then they'll have a meeting with the coach where they'll address specific issues and specific, like, for example, power play or, in-zone stuff, offensive stuff, whatever. But they'll get specific as far as that game. And then the guys have a little time to kind of go through their own pregame rituals. For some guys, that's when they'll tape their stick or they start getting dressed and they've got their right leg first, left leg. But then the guys kind of have their own time to start preparing, and then half hour before face-off, they're ready to go. They're on the ice for warm-ups. So it's definitely a routine and a regimen that the guys meld into.
And that was a basic 2-hour window there. Where does food come into all this? When are they eating before the game? How does that work?
Yeah, well, and that's a topic for, the nutritionalists will debate a little bit. One of the key words that I've come across in my time is bioavailability. Now, people talk about, steak and potatoes or whatnot, and, those are, it's good for you. Well, that's fine, but the problem is your body can't metabolize steak in a matter of a few hours. It needs longer so that's why you see guys eating pasta meals, because they're able to break down the carbohydrates, convert that into fuel that they can use for the game. We try to schedule the pregame meals typically, 4.5 hours to 5 hours prior.
That's a lot. That's much longer than I actually thought. I thought they'd be eating much closer to game time.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if you start getting bogged down, try eating a big meal, and then go out and compete athletically, and you're going to find yourself bogged, and you don't want that. Now, what they'll do, they'll eat those carbs and whatnot, but then, in the locker room, like we bring, loaves of bread and peanut butter and jelly, and some fruits and whatnot, so they can at least, get a half a peanut butter sandwich or something, or granola bars or whatever. So, I mean, there's little things that they can kind of, continue to feed the machine.
Any light snacking between periods? Curiosity?
It depends.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. So for some guys, they like it, and some guys, they would much rather not. So it's an individual choice.
And of course, fluids. These guys are sweating. They're working.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of water and the good old Gatos.
You got to love it. It is 51 minutes after the hour. We are live from Studio 11 here in downtown Wenatchee. Quick break. When we come back, Arch and I will preview a rare Wednesday evening game at the Town Toyota Center. Wenatchee Wild are at home tonight. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guests for, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel.
When it comes to tough, versatile workhorses, nothing compares to Kubota's full line of RTV Series utility vehicles. Engineered to last and designed to deliver, Kubota's RTV X Series doesn't just lead the way on rugged dependability, it leads the pack. From big jobs to small projects and daily chores. Choose from America's top-selling family of diesel utility vehicles to help you do it all.
The Kubota dealer in North Central Washington is Valley Tractor and Equipment in the Baker Flats Industrial Park, East Wenatchee.
Back at it with Art Jecker here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The Vernon Vipers are in town to take on the Wenatchee Wild. Wednesday game, does that throw everybody's schedule off? Is it a tad cattywampus because you're playing in the middle of the week? Normally you play
Well,
Thursday,
it's throwing me off. I don't know about the players. I think players will be fine.
Yeah.
They obviously love to play the games, right? So, and it's not a big surprise. It's been on the schedule since July. So, there is definitely some routine. We talked about that just before the break, of course, but coming off a weekend where we had a 2:00 game, and of course we had the showcase a few weeks ago where you play at 10 in the morning. So some things kind of get shifted around a little bit, and you play at 6:30 on a Wednesday. Okay, it's different, but you know what? You adapt, and you know what? I mean, Vernon had to get on a bus and come down here to play on a Wednesday too. So, it levels the playing field. It's going to be it'll be fun. And I know that Vernon, they're a good team. They make no mistake.
they're like second in the division. Is that right now? 7-2-2, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they've played more games. Penticton's undefeated still.
Jeez.
What is it? 6-0-1 or something. They had one tie, and it was against Vernon.
Yeah.
So they're definitely a good team. We've had good luck against Vernon over the years, though. Other than on opening night, where we ended up, that was the first time they'd beaten us since we joined the BCHL. In regulation anyway. So, yeah, it's going to be a good battle. I know that our guys feel a little Still a little salty about how we kind of let them maybe off the hook a little bit on opening night. So, it just is what it is. We're going to drop the puck, and, Bliss Littler's going to suit up 20 guys. They're going to go out there, and they're going to grind it out and do the best they can to represent Wenatchee, as they always do. So it should be a lot of fun.
Because it's a Wednesday and it's a school night, kids, a couple of things are different. First of all, earlier puck time.
Yeah, 6:30 start time. There's going to be 3 of those, by the way, this year.
Yeah.
Hockey on a hump day, right?
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Got to go do the Humpty dance here. Well, actually, I won't do the dance, but the Humpty dance is your chance to do the hump. Talk to me, baby. Do the Humpty hump. These glasses are really small, by the way. At any rate. Yeah, so Wednesday game tonight.
It's a Wenatchee Wild night at the rink. Wenatchee Wild is your big sponsor.
Wenatchee World.
Wenatchee World. I'm sorry, Wenatchee World.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that's going on tonight. And then the weekend, we still got another home game coming up this weekend. After we play tonight, tomorrow we'll get on a bus and we'll head up to West Kelowna. We play there on Friday against the West Kelowna Warriors.
One of the
Interesting
shorter
story
trips
about
of the
them.
year, one of the easier trips of the year.
Yeah, West Kelowna was a team that was, they were on the chopping block. They were done. It was announced that they weren't coming back. They were being sold. They were going to move to Delta.
Wow.
Delta, BC.
Didn't know any of this.
Yeah, this all went on at the end of last year. And it was weird because the year before, they won the Royal Bank Cup. That's the national championship. They won the whole ball of wax. And then the following year, they were doomed. And then the community rose up, and in a grassroots effort, they were able to raise enough money and pull everything together. And so the Warriors are back, and they're off to a great start. Wow. Just another one to contend with in this interior division, which is formidable. And it's good for us. We're excited about having this elevated level of competition. You got your Vernon, Penticton, now West Kelowna is obviously really good. And Merritt and Salmon Arm and Trail's outstanding this year too. So there's really no weaknesses, and so it serves to strengthen our club, I think, for the long haul. At any rate, West Kelowna Friday, then we come back home Saturday, and Merritt will be here, team poster night.
Okay.
So the guys wore those black jerseys against Cowichan Valley when we were home at the end of September, and everybody loved those jerseys. We've got a poster of the guys in those jerseys. We'll be handing those out. And that's courtesy of Finish Line Custom Interiors.
Autographed?
They will be autographed at the end of the night. Autograph session post-game. So that's Saturday.
We have got about a minute left. Let's talk NHL real quick. They're a full week now into the season. Blackhawks look pretty good right now.
There's one 4-0 team in the NHL right now. And it ain't the Blackhawks.
It ain't the Blackhawks.
It's the St. Louis Blues,
right.
Actually. And I'm not a Blues fan. I'm a Kings fan, but I'll tell you what I did watch. Last night I watched the Vegas Golden Knights in their home opener. Man.
Yeah, it was cool. They did a 58-second moment of silence before the game began for the 58 victims of the Las Vegas shootings. It was a very emotional moment. It's all over YouTube. You can't miss it. So it was really
absolutely.
Cool.
And then, and then they won, beat up on Arizona. Scored 4 goals in the first 10 minutes. It was just one of those. You couldn't write the script for the way the night played out. Obviously, it wasn't what they had anticipated, but given the circumstances off the ice and in the community, what they did with it and turned it around. Every player, when they were introduced on opening night, had a first responder or a healthcare professional that was part of it. It was unbelievable.
And when you watch hockey at any level that you pay to get in, and there's a certain amount of professionalism and decorum required, you'll notice there's advertising all over the boards and all over the ice and everything. They got rid of all that stuff on the boards. There was no advertising on the boards last night in Las Vegas. It just said Vegas strong on all the boards. That was a nice touch, I thought.
It was a great touch. Everything they did was pure class, and so a definite stick tap to the Vegas Golden Knights for doing it right.
6:30 is when they drop the puck, so get there early. Enjoy tonight's action. Arch Ecker, if you can't make it, we'll be calling the game on Sunny FM on the radio.
Decorum.
Tomorrow, my guest on the show, provided she bothers to show up, will be Darcy Christofferson of the Apple Blossom Festival. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.